We really want to say a huge thank you to the foundation for funding our grant. We would have never gotten to have this opportunity, and our students have grown so much and just made so many gains this year just from getting to use the sensory room.
All right, so I would love to say thank you to the foundation for granting this to me, and I would like to say thank you to the donors for making it possible for the foundation to grant these grants to the teachers, because the opportunities that we are able to give our students in using these grants are just limitless. The things that they get to learn, that they get to experience, that they get to share with other people, these are not things that we could do without these grants. And so thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
So we thank you for your support, and we couldn't have done it without you.
I'd like to send a heartfelt thank you out to all of the donors and the foundation itself. I'd like all of you to know that every single penny that has been put toward the foundation has been put to good use and is making such a huge difference in our community, and even reaching out further than our community, because our students, once they experience something like our Holocaust survivor, they're telling their family and their friends and spreading that information. Those tools that you provide in our classrooms, whether it be technology or desks, those things are helping our students become better students and better citizens. And whenever they leave McDonald County, they're going to be as prepared as they can possibly be.
My name is Elaine Aiken. I am a 7th and 8th grade English language arts teacher at Southwest City School. I also teach an elective that we call economics. It's really a class about soft skills and home ec type things that we feel like the kids maybe aren't getting at home like they used to. I chose to write a grant last year to the foundation for our schools to request some supplies that the school might not otherwise be able to give me. They were supplies that I couldn't purchase for myself. These were things like cooking utensils, not just utensils, but pans, baking dishes. I asked for some sewing equipment, things that I could use to teach our children skills that they not only would use for themselves, but as older brothers and sisters could share with their other family members. And in this way, the money that I received through the grant touches many more students, not just the kids who are in my class. It was very nice to receive. The kids are enjoying doing these activities. We have done things like looked up recipes for desserts and made those, and for casseroles and made those. We've learned to do things, we're looking at doing some small mending activities, and just some general upkeep that maybe parents don't have the time to teach their children to do anymore. After having received these items, the kids are very enthusiastic about doing these things. I'm hoping that it runs over into their home lives, that they seem to be willing to help their parents. They talk about the things that they have learned to do at school, then that they've gone home and shown to their parents or shared at home with the others. Being able to receive this grant has made this available, and it's been incredibly helpful. I'm very, very appreciative of the money that was given and the time that was spent to choose this, because I feel like these skills are invaluable to students. They will impact them for the rest of their lives.
Puppetry is a great way for self-expression and creativity, and I have for a long time used puppets in my ministry at my church. I had always wanted to be able to get a sizable number of puppets so that students have a great amount of choice when it comes to their characters that they want to have. And the cost has always been very prohibitive. And so I thought about, well, why don't I just try to write the grant and see what would happen? There's a lot of kids that have issues with talking, speaking, doing public speaking, presenting their essays. I focus here at Knoll Elementary Junior High in the writing, grammar, and communication area. It's very daunting for some kids, but when we unboxed those puppets the first day, the smiles on their faces, and I took pictures of their faces and how they were responding to the puppets. I knew right then that for these 7th graders, this was going to be the key for some of them to let their creative juices flow. So without the foundation's help, none of the puppets, the stage, the smiles that are priceless, the learning that has been so we could not have had it without the help of the foundation.
My My name is Bridget Epperson, and I'm a speech and language implementer at Knoll Primary School. We have a very diverse group of students, and we have a lot of high need students. And so we had a group of special students that had some sensory needs, and we were trying to figure out ways that we could incorporate new activities to help them have a better learning day. They were having a lot of trouble with behavior, a lot of trouble with communication, and so we came up with the idea of trying to come up with a sensory room to kind of a spot for them to get grounded in the morning, to kind of get their emotions, get their bodies in check, and then they could weave back into their learning environment and have a better day. We went to some workshops and we had heard about the idea. We kind of did some research and we looked around and there wasn't any money available. Nobody could help us out. Everybody thought it was a great idea, but nobody was really willing to jump on board with us. And so I wrote a grant for the McDonald County Schools Foundation, and they took a chance on us and funded our grant, and we got to get specialized equipment and material so that we could build our own sensory room. And then the week before school started, we had an empty classroom, and our principal said, you know what, I'm going to move you guys to the big classroom. And so we were a little bit shocked, but we had to totally revamp our plan. And we just all pulled together. We took the room totally apart and we put down carpet on the floors, different carpets, to kind of define different workstation areas and to kind of absorb the sound. We covered all of the lighting with some blue paper to kind of give it a more calming feel. It just kind of sets a different tone when they come into the room. We have a sensory group, a core group of 14 students that starts in the room every day from 8 to 9. They come into the room, they answer a question of the day, and we go to exercises. We do yoga, we work on the exercise balls. It's just a way to kind of get them grounded to the space and give them some sensory input before they go out into the room. And then after we do our exercises together and kind of get everybody on target with what we're going, then we work in the different center rooms.
I'm Karen Woods. I teach at Southwest City Elementary. I teach 2nd grade. In 2nd grade, a couple of years ago, we went to flexible seating. We needed some different kinds of seating for the areas we had made in our classroom. So Miss Kitlin and I decided to write a grant for the ball chairs and the wobble disc. We have a short table. We needed the seating around, and we needed different seating for our small group area. And the wobble chairs makes a little bit better area for kids to have a little bit more movement while they're working with me. We decided to go ahead and write a grant for this. For one reason, I'm sure one of these days Frank is going to get tired of me spending so much money on this classroom. So we wrote a grant to the foundation, which was very easy, for these, for 4 ball chairs and 8 wobble discs for our tables, and we got them for both of our classrooms. These have been very beneficial this year in our room. The kids love them. These seats make it much easier on the students. They're able to sometimes focus in a little bit more on their work when their bodies are able to move around. When they're not required to sit still in a seat, in a hard seat, they're able to move. This just gives them a little bit of flexibility in their learning process.
Hi, my name's Logan Grab. I teach at McDonald County High School. I currently teach Advanced English 1 and English 1, which primarily consists of freshmen. Last school year, I had the opportunity to hear Rachel Miller, a Holocaust survivor, at a church over in Monette after she had spoke to some of the students at that school earlier that day. And after listening to her, I knew for sure that this was something that I wanted our students and community to also experience. So I approached Mr. Leach about it. He was on board with it. And by happenstance, Alice Snodgrass happened to be in the building that day and overheard a lot about what we were talking about and said, hey Logan, the foundation would probably be interested in this. The foundation made a generous donation that was able to then go to the St. Louis Holocaust Museum, as Rachel Miller doesn't actually charge anything whenever she comes to speak. She does it out of the kindness of her own heart to kind of spread her story. Not only did that money help and impact our youth here in our school and our community by hearing a story that was really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, those funds are reaching people probably all around the world that are visiting that museum every single day. The students appreciated the strength that Rachel Miller had, and they saw that how she pushed through what was probably something far worse than what most of them have faced throughout life, and some of them have faced some pretty tough situations, unfortunately, and they came out of that saying, you know, if she can make it through that and be brave and strong, then we can too. So I think the level of inspiration she left our students with was pretty outstanding. So if you're a teacher on the fence about maybe writing a grant or approaching the foundation about doing something, I would really encourage you to do that. I know I was a little bit nervous about it whenever I first started, and it's one of the best decisions that I've ever made and one of the best things that I've ever been able to be a part of and help our school and our students.
I would encourage everybody to donate to the foundation. They give out tenfold whatever you put in. Teachers can donate easily from your paychecks, and then the foundation gives so much money away and helps so many students.
If you're out there wondering, gee, is this something I really want to be a part of? Let me tell you that it is. I, as a teacher, am not just a recipient of a grant, but I am also a donor. I choose to do it because I don't just think my own classroom is important. I think other people's classrooms and the things that they have to offer their students are important as well. So I just ask you to consider being a donor. You will find that doing for other people makes you feel good inside, and if you can't be the person who's there to teach it, make it possible for somebody else to do that. Please be a donor.
So regardless of the amount of money that you have to put toward the foundation, whether it be small or large, preferably large, the foundation would very much appreciate you contributing that. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the foundation itself, it's about helping the kids in our community. And they put every single dollar toward helping the McDonald County School District.